Call this meeting. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a roll call, please.
Village President Detla.
Here.
Here. Mr. Mark.
Here.
Mr. Morgan.
Present.
Ms. Quinn.
Here.
Ms. Worrell.
Here.
Ms. Wheeler.
Present.
Do we have approval of previous meeting minutes dated September 15th, 2025? Yes.
Some motion accept the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll second.
9:15.
Okay, motion to approve the minutes from the previous September 15th meeting. Motion is made by Mr. Marks,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Quinn.
Yes.
Mr. Brower.
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Ms. Worrell.
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler.
Yes.
Do we have any public comments?
No.
None tonight, thank you, sir. Do we have a motion to approve bills for payment and payroll?
Yes, I move to approve bills for payment dated October 2nd, 2025 from the corporate general fund in the amount of $15,193.35. Also dated October 2nd from the motor fuel tax fund, $5,292.45. Also dated October 2nd from the TIF account, $15,086.75. I also move to approve payroll ending September 25th, a stipend of $3,250, ending September 27th, $18,639.22, and ending September 29th, $6,375.
I'll second.
Who did it? Her.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, it's not.
I do not.
You don't say?
Okay, we have a motion to approve bills for payment as follows. October 2nd date, general fund, $15,193.35. Motor fuel tax, $5,292.45. Out of the tip account, $15,086.75. Payroll ending September 25th in the amount of $3,250 even. And ending September 27th in the amount of $18,639.22. And ending September 29th in the amount of $6,375 even. With that said, motion is made by Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Seconded by Ms. Weedle.
Yes.
Mr. Brower.
Yes.
Mr. Marks.
Yes.
Ms. Quinn.
Yes.
And Ms. Worrell.
Yes.
Department report.
I have nothing in the clerk department to report.
Thank you, sir. I don't have anything from our village attorney, Mr. Mike Sanchi. Engineers report, I had spoken to Neil just the other day concerning some stuff in the park. We had to make some decisions on color of swings. We did, basically, it's gonna be the same color as our swings, the approval. One of the things we did talk about is our project in the downtown area. Because we're getting later in the season, we're gonna have to make a decision whether to start this project now or wait till spring. Because then we face a opening in the street, trying to plow snow, and it's on our route to school. So a decision hasn't been made yet. We were talking about it, and we have a few holdups right now from utility companies. So if it goes much longer, we're gonna have to wait till spring to start this streetscape project. And simply because we cannot have a open hole or work being done in the winter months on a main road to our schools. So that's all I have from our engineer. Ordinances and Insurance Committee Chairperson Susie Weedle.
Just, we are, working on our insurance renewal and we are working on, the business license application, which will start January 1st, 2026. And that is all I have.
Thank you very much. Streets and Alley Committee Chairperson Morgan Worrell.
Yes, I have a few things. I'm trying to summarize the best I can. The previous playground equipment from Hilbert Park, the school has shown interest in it. I spoke with Mike. He was in a couple pieces. He just wants to get the okay from Dr. Palin, who was out of office for a couple days. So Ms. Planetta gave it the go ahead, as far as I know, but we're just kind of waiting for the final plot to get, so we can get rid of some of that equipment. What would be the plan with the remainder of the equipment that isn't taken?
Do you know how much he plans on taking or
He
not?
said he was interested in a few pieces,
Okay.
so I don't really know the extent of which pieces.
I guess my question would be, if it falls through, do I have the board's permission to reach out to them, see if they would be
They
interested?
want it.
Well, because they help us with the boom truck, they help us with the kids' train cars, and we always seem to knock on their door and say, can you help us? But in return, we never do anything for them. So if this doesn't work out with our school system here, the board agrees to it. We reach district if they were interested in it, and if that's okay with
Good
you.
idea.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
we'll see if there is interest here in Grant Park, and if not, if you would let me know, or Steve will let me know, and then I'll reach out to Momentum.
So yeah, Mike said he'll call me back this week, so.
Okay, if you hear something, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, next thing is the remainder of the Pepin, property items. He said they can't be mold and just the general smell that comes with the mold. He doesn't want them in the maintenance building. What's the plan with the rest of those? Did you guys have something in mind, or is it something that I need to figure out with him?
We'll continue to work on them, and the Historical Society did look at them, and they're trying to make up their mind which ones they'd like.
Okay,
So it's kind of in flux, but we haven't really pressed it.
okay,
We'll try and continue to work on it though.
okay. Yeah, he just said with weather coming and stuff, it's only gonna get worse. If it's
And it's
clouds and
sitting
snow.
outside.
Yeah,
I mean, there are a couple pieces inside, and those are cleaned up and those stay horrible.
right, that's what he said. The ones in there is like kind of the limit of what he wants in there, but,
We're trying to get rid of those too.
well, at least it's, they're cleaned up.
Yeah.
Alright, and then the last thing is there were some items, best items left behind in the building. They were in an area where the cleaning supplies and the access to police cameras are, so he just wants to know if those could be moved somewhere. He said there's several boxes. He said, they can be moved in the back room of the maintenance building. That's kind of at your own risk if they're gonna be found or buried by something.
So to shed some light on that, that is Christmas Day ink, 2 tubs.
Okay,
That was brought in, the gentleman who took care of that is moving and leaving Grant Park.
Mhm.
So at that time, we didn't have access to the upstairs storage in the park building, so we
Okay.
put them in there. In the process, Mr. Brower is gonna be moving those up in the attic, in the kitchen
Okay.
attic. So we have 2 tubs of Christmas decorations and a box of miscellaneous items, so.
alright, I think that's all I want to move this week.
I guess
Thank you.
I apologize to maintenance building because I stole the letter.
Okay, so you're.
But they found out, but it's actually downstairs.
Oh, okay, cross it off then. I'm just kidding. Thank you. That is all, thank you.
Thank you very much. Finance Committee Chairman Gary Morgan.
Yeah. Okay, I've got a lot of things to actually say here, so I'm sorry to read most of it. Last week, we met with 2 groups concerning cybersecurity. And while the first one was with Advanced Computer, and much of that discussion was about the hardware and software that we need to upgrade. We've got a problem with the server as it's way past the age for servers. So we'll be looking at replacing that, but we're still not quite ready to do that like next month. So that'll come up later. They've also been providing lessons on how system users can assist in preventing persons from entering our system to extract either information or more likely financial gain. You all get those things in your email. They're basically a little lesson and then you take the test. And actually those are required by the insurance company because we have to have village emails so that we don't get our own personal emails caught up in a FOIA. So you do need to have the grantpark-il.org email, but also have to take these little quizzes and listen to the lessons just as part of that. Now, another test that they do is they actually send out simulated phishing, and it's phishing with a PH, not an S, not an F. And basically, I don't think anybody screwed up, but what they'll do is they'll send you like what actually sounds like kind of a bogus offer, like you get an email from Ben saying, please go out and buy a couple of gift cards for me. I'm at a meeting and I can't do anything. And then text me the numbers on the gift cards. And of course, that's bogus because it's not Ben asking you for those. It's somebody outside that wants the money that you're going to do. But you're going to get a couple of these, maybe at least once a month from Advanced Computer to make sure you're following and not getting caught up and making those kinds of mistakes. Okay, one of the other things that they mentioned was that there is a vulnerability of ACH, that's automated clearinghouse. That's how a lot of us pay our bills. You basically, your service provider or product provider sends you something to your bank account, and your bank pays the bill. Some of you pay your credit cards that way. The only one we do that way is an exact monthly payment. It's always the same. And if we wrote them a paper check, they would charge us $15 a month. So we're definitely going to do ACH. So that's what we do, ACH. But he also mentioned that there could be a problem with checking accounts. So that brings up the second group that we met with. Ben and Carrie and I met with Midland States Bank. And their concern is that they are experiencing businesses that have checks altered and presented for more money than they were intended. Or they could have checks made out with the correct routing number, the correct account number, the correct company name. Even the signatures are right, except it's to a vendor that company doesn't do business with, and it's for a huge amount of money. Like they were talking about one company that all of a sudden had $350 bill that they knew nothing about because somebody had faked the check and sent it to the bank. The bank can do things after the fact, but the business still lost like $10,000. You know, they didn't lose the 350 because the bank did get involved and they were able to get some back to them, but it was a huge cost. Again, what the bank is saying is that what they can do for a fee and some extra work on Carrie's part is that we can submit to them a spreadsheet with the payee, the date, the check number, and the amount for each payables or payroll that goes through the system. So that if some other check comes up that isn't in that list, they dismiss it, they won't pay it. They send it back to whoever did it. And again, we think that our most vulnerable account is the general fund because it basically goes out all over the world. Things like motor fuel, I mean, basically we spend pretty much send motor fuel money to the same companies all year long. We don't do any experimenting with them. They don't go to unusual people. But because the general fund does go out there and it's got its own account number and its own routing number, well, it doesn't have its own routing number. They all go to Midland. What they're saying is that's our most vulnerable account. The charge for them to stop any bill is $50 a month. So again, we're kind of asking your opinion tonight if you think that that's something we should be doing. And we feel that $600 a year is not a horrible amount to pay if it only keeps one check from being presented for what usually would be 4 or 5 times that. So if you have any more questions about that, I think you did get a notice about that from Midland States Bank. And again, what we would do is, if you feel this is okay, is we'd start the paperwork, but we'd actually make it a motion like at the next meeting, so that it would actually move. Does anybody have any questions about this?
So $600 is an annual fee, and we would submit to them a list of what checks we're going to be issuing, and then we're covered for anything that's not on that list.
Yes.
Sounds like a good, safe plan.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Like 100%?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if they will not pay a check that's not on that list, and they won't pay that number unless the amount is the same.
Is that something that list can be updated daily or when she writes checks or once a
Well,
week or once a month?
we cycle through, we approve payables. Tomorrow, the checks will be printed, or a couple of them that are on accounts that we write hand checks, and we sign them tonight. Those are the checks that are going, so it's like, anytime we have the payables, that's easy, because it's like the day before, we put them in the list, we approve them, they get sent to the bank the same time that checks are printed.
So it's that fast.
It's that fast.
Perfect.
And every payroll, same thing, she'd be listing the payroll, how much, and a lot of those are presented, of course, correctly, and it's direct deposit. I mean, some of us are doing direct deposit too, so payroll isn't as huge a problem for us, because we don't pay that many people in payroll, but still could be a problem. So unless somebody's got an objection, we'll start it, and then we'll have the actual vote on it at the next meeting.
I mean, it's our job to protect the interests at all time of the village. And this is one way that we can protect our financial interests. Without this, we could lose money and we couldn't recoup it. So the bank is looking out for us. They offered this to us. We think it's a good deal. It'll be up to your determination to say, okay, we need to have a formal vote at the next meeting. Mr. Morgan can get the paperwork started if the board is agreeable to this.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, I see nodding heads, so we'll start it. And again, we'll make it an actual motion at the next meeting. Also, at that meeting with Midland States Bank, we asked them about a concern that we have with our TIP account. We think we've got too much money in it for it just to sit in a checking account with very little interest. So what they've offered to do is set up another account that we basically store the money in, but they'll give us 3.7% interest. So what that would do over a year, if we put $1 million in there, because basically we don't need $1 million in the TIF account right now. If we put it in that bank, we get 3.7% for the year, which is a nice substantial return.
No penalty for early withdrawal, or it's a 1 year, 2 year,
Okay.
2 month.
What we do right now is the money we got from the sewer plant is basically invested in like 4 or 5 banks. And what they do is they keep an account that we can actually access with liquid funds. That's at 250,000. And basically we use that to buy capital property like the skid steer, the leaf vacuum, the police car. And what we do is write checks on that account, and then the basic budget pays back that money to that account. It's always 250,000. So if we put more money in, that money's put back up with $1 million that's getting more interest. We'd be doing kind of the same thing. It'd be a different account because it's TIF and we can't mix the TIF with the capital funds, but it would also waive the transfer fee to set it up, which is nice. So unless somebody's objecting, I think we'll go ahead with that. We don't actually have to vote on that because we're not spending money. It's just changing how we store the money and getting a little bit back for storing it this way. So,
I think that's a good idea.
okay, thanks. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, sir. Community Outreach Chairman, Steve Brown.
Okay, the Fall to Fun Fest did generate $2,622 that went into the Fest account, which is separate from any other village accounts. We had our Cabin Fever Reliever Fest meeting on October 1st, and we discussed many items that we can improve upon for our next fest. I would like to thank the 12 leaders for endless time and dedication to making our village proud of who we are. It does take a village. This year, our main events were the mini 5K runs handled by JD Dykla and our 2025 Cabin Fever Reliever and our Fall into Fun Festival, to name a few. Be sure to stop by and see the real artist at work. Grant Park's own Paul Niemeyer is painting a beautiful mural on the side of the village hall, and it looks great. Also, announced the Grant Park Foundation is running their Boo Bingo on this Friday, October 10th, from 4 till 9 o'clock, I believe, and costumes are appreciated, not mandatory.
Not mandatory, but I think there's going to be some kind of an award for some, I think.
Cool. Also, to remind everyone, the First United Methodist Church will be handing out hot dogs and hot chocolate from 4 to 7 on October 31st, or until they run out. And last thing is, please be careful driving on our streets and watch out for power kids out there on Halloween. That's all I have to read.
Thank you, sir. Building and Grounds Chairperson Julie Quinn.
I don't have anything this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Law Enforcement Committee Chairman Dennis Marks and Chief Carl Fry.
Well, the chief approached me on purchasing a drone, of which he had $1,000 donated, and the village had to come up with $800. So I didn't realize that they had me on here to discuss it, and to make a motion to give them $800 for the drone. So I just letting everybody know that I'm gonna have next month's meeting, so it can be done properly for next week, 2 weeks.
I can expand on that just a little bit. Winnie Maness donated $1,000. They wanted to buy us a piece of equipment. It was a little bit more than that. I've got 2 other benefactors that are gonna probably donate. So the cost to the village may be nothing. All we're doing is fronting the money to purchase it, and we have to do it pretty rapidly. Otherwise, there's a possibility of losing it. So it would be, it's called a Nevada drone. We can use it inside the buildings, like the schools, things like that, when we're doing room clearing or clearing a building. Also, if we have somebody missing, put the drone up, fly it around. They're very successful in that. The county has some with infrared in the event we need that, but it's not immediate. And they're very costly. This one is not that costly. So I think total like $1,600 and something.
Does the board have any questions for Mr. Marks or for Chief Fry?
I got a couple more things too. I was approached by our computer guy, Jason. The village of Bradley has purchased new body cameras. They were gonna offer us their used body cameras. So I asked Jason to come up with a figure what it would cost for us to take this donation. Shockingly, it was about $13,000. I did some more research because our body cameras that we have are used. Their life expectancy is not too much longer. So I did some research. We could upgrade to newer body cameras from the same manufacturer we have now. 5 body cameras and the dock and everything for $5,000. So it seemed, yeah, I would rather have brand new ones than used ones. And the figure seemed too high for me.
Yeah.
So it's just something I'll probably put into the budget or approach you guys on in the very near future. So a couple other little things. When we talk about the sign. Or
Yeah, if you would, we can pass these around. If you would, show them what the sign and the coverings look like.
I think Scott brought it up that we had talked about, the board had already approved these signs for this golfer in town a couple of years ago, and somehow it got kind of fell through the cracks. I have a contact because this is the person who does all my t-shirts and everything. He made up the signs, mock-up of what they would look like, and it would be up to you guys where to mount them. My suggestion would be under the existing 2-post Grant Park sign, because if the IDOT came through and did anything, you wouldn't have to worry about moving the sign or if it disappears. And I think the board's you guys have already approved this. It just, I think somehow just fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
So we don't know where they went? Like-
No, they never got made.
Oh, not at all?
No.
Oh,
Not at all.
Last year, we talked about it and we thought it was a good idea, and then, actually, I was asked at the last meeting. And, yeah, it was one of those things that we talked about, and it didn't go any further. So we'd like to take some action on it now,
Yeah.
since we already agreed upon it.
I think they're $90 a sign. And I thought if we bought 3, buy 1 for each sign and give him 1.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think that would be a nice gesture.
Well, we are, showing our pride as a community that this person was from our town, so when people do come into town, they can see that, you know.
Yep.
What was the size of it? 14?
Do you like?
Pardon me?
What was the size on the
Do you
sign?
like?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that's it over here. All right.
It's on the price.
Yeah, it's on the price, it's on
Gary, what's the size of the sign?
it's on the front of it.
18 by 24.
18.
That's good sign.
I was guessing, to be honest, I said, you know, make me a marker,
But that's a nice sign.
we can go from there.
Do you wanna discuss also the table cover?
Yeah, in addition, we had talked, about table covers for in here. So the same guy makes those, I had him give us a proposal on those, one for this table because it's 8 feet. Would have the GP logo on it, it's $300, the others are 6 feet with the GP logo, be $250, so. That's something for you guys to think about.
The signs we, as a board, agreed upon already, so we can get that in the works and get that done, so it doesn't get forgotten again.
Yes.
And, make sure that the young man gets one and we get those hung up. Now, as far as the table coverings from, in here, that's up to the board to decide if that's something you're interested in. We don't have it on the agenda to bring it to a vote. If you are interested, then we'll have it on the next agenda to vote on it. Or is there any interest in having table coverings in here?
Absolutely.
I think it's a nice, that's expensive, I feel like. for
That's gonna be up to the board.
We should probably shop around for prices.
Oh, about 900.
You said last time.
Yeah, I thought it was 90, but it's all.
Isn't that neat?
I think that these are just plain, I don't know, 250.
So for now,
Two plain ones.
is it agreeable that we go ahead and go forward with the signs?
Oh, for sure.
And then, as far as the table coverings, are you more comfortable if we shopped around, or how do you wanna handle this?
I think we should.
I'm for shopping around.
Yeah,
And if
same.
that's the going price, that's the going price, and we can vote on it, but
Would you let the gentleman know that go ahead with the signs, and then the table coverings will have an answer, maybe, yes, sir.
On the signs, when those are done, are we gonna make an official presentation to him at a board meeting?
Yeah, we will try to, I don't know
He's away
exactly.
at school, so I don't know,
Oh, he's a.
but maybe I'm sure we could, maybe a Christmas break or something.
Yeah, maybe at break or whatever, we can, bring him into the board meeting and say thank you for what you did, and so is that agreeable with the board? We'll
Yes.
shop around the table coverings, we'll go
Yeah.
forward with the signs.
I did one more thing, I just want to tell Steve. Love's recently donated a bunch of styrofoam cups, plastic cups and lids that they got. They told them to throw them away. 500 plastic cups with lids and a bunch of large styrofoam cups. So I think the guys took them today down, so.
I think I saw him in the hall.
Oh, they're still in the hallway, yeah, so they're, if somebody needs
So
them.
we got, yeah, we
I
got.
didn't think throwing them out was probably a good idea. They said, "Do you want them?" We're like, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cool. All right.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's cool.
Yeah,
Best.
and that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Well, I have several things this evening, so I'm gonna try to get through them as quickly as possible. The first thing is the Beverly K. Roberts Cancer Foundation sent a letter to the village asking for a basket, and I said, what have we done in the past? And they said, we haven't. So I am asking the board if we can donate a basket to the fundraiser they're gonna be having, not to exceed $100.
Yeah.
So I'm asking for a motion.
Is that not in conjunction with Pink Night
It
volleyball
is,
game at
it's,
the school?
it's the same thing. I can pass this around and you can read about it.
I'll make the motion that we donate to Beverly Roberts.
Yeah, for sure.
Carrie is gonna make the basket up if it's agreeable to the board and contact, there's 3 ladies with contact information to make sure on behalf of the village that this basket is donated to their fundraiser.
Sorry, this table is so small.
You just have too much junk.
Okay, I have a motion. We need a second.
I'll second.
We have a discussion, I have a question. I don't know who this is, and I understand what cancer is, but are we gonna face this every time there's a fundraiser for somebody's cancer thing coming up?
If it's a local person, yes.
Okay, for a local person. Fine.
Can I elaborate on the
Yes, please.
organization?
Yes.
Okay. Bev Roberts is a longtime Grant Park person, used to work at the First National Bank, I'm not sure. And passed away of cancer. And in her honor, several of her friends started this organization under her name. And what they do is anyone with a Grant Park address, rural and town or whatever, that unfortunately has cancer and needs help, this organization will provide as best they can, services or whatever that they need, is even in cash or if necessary, to what they can do that. In this Pink Night volleyball game that the school always has every year, is a major fundraiser to help this organization continue to do what they did. I hope I'm saying everything correctly here, anyone that's gonna be listening to this video, but, and they have probably at least 50 baskets up there at the school that they raffle off, and a lot of other things that go on for that whole night, and special raffles of other things. So it's been around for at least 15 years. I don't know exactly when it was started, but it's been around for a long
It's a
time.
local person.
Yeah, it's a local person. We talk about always taking care and helping our own, so it's part of that. So do we get a
I got,
motion in a second?
yes, motion is made by Mr. March. Correct?
Correct.
Seconded by Ms. Worrell.
I fell asleep there.
I'm sorry.
You can.
Mr. Brower?
Yes.
Mr. Morgan?
Yes.
Ms. Quinn?
Yes.
And Ms. Wheel?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. The next thing, Mr. Brower mentioned about Boo Bingo, Friday, October 10th. If you cannot attend the event, donations are accepted, I
Yes.
believe.
Yes.
You can reach out to a Grant Park Foundation member, say, I can't be there, but I'd like to donate, because 100% of what they raise goes right back into the community. So when you see these, it's coming up. So if you can help out, please help out. We're trying to raise money for some good causes that we have coming up in the community. For the people who have signed up for Surf Internet, some of them have already got it in their homes. I've seen them about a week ago. What?
I got it at
Oh,
home, it's
okay.
not working, but I got it at my home.
Well, you'll have to
Just
work it
start.
out. You'll have to work it out with Surf. Anyway, we've waited. They're here in the community. They're trying to power up, and hopefully it's an improvement to what we have now. It's an option that we were happy to bring in, because before this, we didn't have too many options as far as high-speed internet. The progress at Hilbert Park has been going very well. And I think we're on track to what we hope to have 3/4 of the work done before winter sets in. As if you've been in town, you can see the railroad tracks have been torn out. We have been provided with maps. I think they added an extra day instead of 7 days.
Did that an extra day.
Okay, if you have any questions, reach out to the Grant Park Police Department. It seems like everybody has been looking at the detour signs and taking them. I haven't seen too much traffic. I know it's harvest season right now, and people said, what a great time to start. Well, the village didn't determine the starting date. The railroad did. So we're all gonna try to make the very best of it. Sir,
I have feedback on that.
okay,
They start in the spring, they go north, and they work their way south. And I couldn't tell you how many crossings you got in the city of Chicago, and they use the same crossing gangs over the whole certain section of the railroad. So they're headed back south, and that's where we fit in on the southern, on the way down south, that's all I can tell you.
So it's gonna be it's gonna be a great improvement to what we had.
Yeah, and I've talked to the grain elevator, we reroute the grain trucks because they line up in front of the police station. So if they're coming from the east, we reroute them down Stanley. And then this side, we allow them, as we always have, to go past the post office and come around and line up.
So are we utilizing 9,000? Cause that's on a truck route, are they?
Not at all.
Okay,
They can utilize it because they're harvest, but, it doesn't get much use that
all
way.
right. And are we using 7,000 as an alternative coming out?
7,000 is the IDOT route that they're going around it. I did get a call from the grain elevator today. They were concerned about their container trucks that were leaving. But, they just go out to Route 1 and follow the detour. They all have state and county permits, so take them on any of those roads.
All right, thank you for the insight on that. One thing I want to mention, Halloween hours, 4 to 7. I don't know if anybody brought that up. I had a little note to mention this. One of the things that I want to bring up this evening too, Mrs. Sharon Dillman passed away a couple weeks ago. And the family said we could donate, or they would accept a donation of flowers, or we could plant a tree. And we thought we would plant a tree on village property in honor of Mrs. Dillman. It would be a location picked out at our new park in the spring by the family. And then Mr. Dillman and myself will go to the nursery and pick out a tree. She had a favorite tree. And we will bring it back to the board and say, this is the cost of the tree and here's the location, if it's okay with the board. That's what our plans are. So if you're in agreement, we're gonna go forward with that idea in the spring. It's planting a tree, and we'll bring you the price of the tree and go from there. And
So put a plaque on it?
we're gonna put a plaque, so when we dedicate that park, we're gonna dedicate the tree at the same time. This is a lady who's been in the community for a number of years. And it was brought to my attention, well, if we do it for her, how come we're not doing for everybody else? The family said, well, you can do this or not do it. We weren't forced into it. And I wanted to do something for the family on behalf of the village, so we decided on a tree in our new park, and I think it would be a good setting. So if the board's in agreement with that, spring, I will have the family members pick out a location. We will let the board know where the tree will be planted. And I will ask Mr. Dillman and myself to go to the nursery, pick out a tree, bring the cost. We'll make the purchase. I'll make the purchase and I'll bring the cost to the board. Is that in agreement with everyone here?
Yes.
Anybody have any questions concerning that? Okay. Couple things really quick I'm gonna go through here. This is a building permit notice of intent. This is not in the village of Grand Park, but they have to issue this intent. This is for a solar field, and anything within 1.5 miles of the village, they have to get this notification. It's gonna be a 4 megawatt commercial ground mount solar system. This will be hung up in the front hall. Anybody can read it. You can get all the information from the county administration building on East Court Street, room 201. And the locations, if I gave them to you, I couldn't tell you where this was. It's in Kankakee County, and that's about as close as I can give you where this is gonna be. But they have to, I'm not sure, here's the location, the southwest corner.
No, I don't know, by the way, they got that road.
And part of the south half of the northwest corner of section 18. Township 32 North, Range 14 East, 3rd Principal Meridian, Kankakee County. So I know it's in Kankakee County. Other than that, you'll have to get the information off of this or the county
Did you say
website.
it's within 1.2 miles of Grand Park?
Yes, it's outside the village limits.
Right.
So they have to, all neighbors or anybody that could be affected by this, they have to give the letter of intent. Also received a letter from the Historical Society as a thank you for our donation. It says, thank you again for helping us keep the past available and for the future to see. So thank you very much, Historical Society. We appreciate this. Also received a letter from Grand Park Youth Baseball for our support. So I'm gonna pass this around instead of, listening to me, you can see what they sent us. I was fortunate enough, September 22nd to be invited to United Kankakee. It was a group of community leaders, Mr. Nick Africano, who is the county treasurer and chairman of the Republican Party, and also Mike Cobb, who is an alderman of the city of Kankakee and chairman of the Democratic Party. Republican or Senator Pat Joyce, Representative Jackie Haas, and Dr. Greg Chenoweth from president of Olivet University. What we did was we got together as a group, and I'm gonna read you, I'm gonna not read you the whole thing, but I'm gonna read you just a little bit. It says, "We stand together as stewards of our community, united by the duty greater than any campaign or office. The people we serve deserve leaders who model courage without cruelty, strength without hostility, and commitment without contempt." So it was just a bunch of us getting together and saying we're all gonna work together for the best cause of Kankakee County. And I have a few more thank yous here real quickly. I can get through my notes. I want to thank Oscar from Apple TV. Very nice gentleman. I would mention his last name, but if he was watching this, he would probably say, "Who's he talking about?" Because his last name is pretty long, but Oscar from Apple TV, thank you very much for coming in our community and highlighting our community. And I would like to thank Mayor Chuck Steele because he said, "Hey, don't forget to visit our neighbors up north." So that's how Oscar got sent up here. Chief Ryan, the police helped him out very much, so I appreciate them. And I said, "Hey, anytime you want to come back, you come back." They're a great bunch of people to work with. I also want to thank Lisa Apparetti from ComEd. She's an external affair manager for the South region. I was at a Kankakee Community Chamber State of Municipality meeting as their guest, and it was a bunch of leaders from Kankakee County getting together, just talking about what's going on in their community, some highlights and stuff on there. Well, one of the last things I want to talk about, or actually two of the last things, I want to thank the Grant Park Police Department. On October 1st, contractors hit a gas main at our middle school. And they had to evacuate the kids, or elementary school. They had to evacuate the kids to the high school, got them in the gym until parents can be notified. So the police department helped out getting all the kids safely over there. Dr. Palin got it all organized and wanted to make sure that no one was put in jeopardy. So I want to thank Grant Park Superintendent Dr. Palin and the Grant Park Police Department for handling that. And if I understand correctly, a week before you had training concerning something like that?
We had a prior incident there about a year or so, maybe a couple of years ago. Prior to that incident, we did training on evacuations and things like that. And the school did the lion's share of this work. As soon as it happened, they notified us. We went over and helped them, but they had all the kids out in the field, moved them over to the gym at the middle school and flawlessly dismissed them all. Got a hold of all the parents, I think by email or text or something. And it went very well.
One of the last things I have in this part of the meeting tonight is this morning, I got a hold of Steve Sullivan. About 5:30, went on my walk and cut across the park and I could smell gas. So I opened the kitchen door up and through the burners on our stove, the pilot light was out. And the building was just full of gas from the stove. So what we did was we shut the gas off to the stove. Unfortunately, with that type of stove, once the pilot light goes on, it doesn't light automatically. So we don't want an incident. We don't want to have a place blow up. We don't want one of our maintenance people or the lady who cleans going in there when it's full of gas. One source of ignition, we can have a pretty serious incident, and we have a lot of homes that are close to that building. So from time to time, we have to be vigilant and check on that. If there's a sign saying, "Please don't blow out the pilot light," I don't know how it happened, but luckily it was taken care of, and Steve made sure that we had the burners lit back up, and we open the windows and everything, so. That's one of the problems that we're gonna have to face with having a stove is the liability issue. We just filled out paperwork for, George Ryan Insurance through the maintenance department. I did the buildings, chief did the police department on what we're insured for and the contents of the building. I don't wanna have an incident by having this liability issue with the stove. The pilot on a hot water tank, it's automatic ignition, they light themselves. The furnace would be the same deal, but the stove is not. There's a burner in the oven and there's the burners on top. Once the pilot light goes out, you have gas coming out, and this has happened before in the past. If it keeps happening, we're gonna have to make a decision on the stove for a liability issue for the village.
Is there a way to put a lock on the gas line to the stove?
We could, but then you would have to light it each time a renter come in, and then you have to assume that when someone comes in, if the pilot light went out, that they would tell you or leave a note. So there's a lot of people that go in there. Our cleaning lady goes in, we have the maintenance department goes in, we have renters going in, so we have to be vigilant and making sure that if this happens again, I will bring it to the board's attention and we'll have to make a decision on how we're gonna handle it. Right now, I'm just letting you know what happened this morning. It's been taken care of. So, in the regular meeting right now, that's all I have. I'm making a motion, sir.
Can you replace the pilot lights with the ones that go?
Commercial type of stove, so it's not, you can't set it up that way.
Right.
Unfortunately, I mean, I don't have a solution other than bringing this up to the board and saying, here's something that we may have an issue with, and then the board would have to determine what we're gonna do with this, but we cannot assume or take the liability of someone opening the building up and gas has been leaking for a couple of days. It's normally rented every weekend, but if it went out and no one was in there, it could be several days before someone goes in. And I don't want to see anybody hurt. So, any other questions? At this time, I make a motion to go in executive session. You'll be able to come back in once we close executive session.
Do we need to vote on that?
Yes, we do.
Okay, at 7:17 to enter executive session, Mr. Brower, here, Mr. Marks,
Here.
Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
Ms. Quinn,
Here.
Ms. Worrell,
Yes, here.
Ms. Wheel.
Present.